My name is Dr. Gail Timlin, president of Diet Supplement Industries Incorporated, and people say to me all the time, but Gail, you're not a real doctor. And I say to them, oh yeah, well I graduated with a PhD in religious studies at Kent State University. Is that real enough for you? No? Well, how's this for real? I lost hundreds of pounds by taking the best dietary product on the market, Dietaloxepam. But can something so good be legal, you ask? Hey, you ask a lot of questions. Of course it's legal, and I should know. I'm not only a doctor and president of Diet Supplemental Industries Incorporated, I'm also the junior state representative of Rhode Island.
TBTL.
That's it, the radio. I'll go on the most popular program of the day. I assume that's still Don McNeil and his Breakfast Club?
Like I ask people, what's in your muffin? Huh? How about me? What did you ask me? Anybody ask me what's in my muffin? I don't know what's in my muffin.
If you two dirtbags ever mess with me again, I'll take this to the next level. You don't do 22 episodes of Celebrity Outhouse with Lorena Bobbitt without learning a few things.
Dude, you are the best. You're awesome, dude. You are God's gift to the airwaves.
What have you got to say for yourselves?
It's hammer time.
Let the freakout begin!
All right, hello, good morning, and welcome everyone to a Thursday edition of TBTL, the show that just might be too beautiful to live.
This whole conversation bothers me.
My name's Luke Burbank. I'm your host.
Are you sure? That's what they said on Ask Jeeves.
R.I.P. Coming to you from the Madrona Hill studio, perched high above the mighty Columbia, where we're looking at a gorgeous Thursday.
Oh, Ma, Pa, it's just beautiful.
The lawn is freshly shorn. We don't really use the term shorn for describing what's happened to a lawn, and maybe it's better that way. All right, I'm going to get it together, folks, and really, that was my last mistake of the program. It's going to be smooth sailing from here as we've made it to episode 4,737 in a collector's series.
Let the fun begin.
I spent an absolutely perfect evening in Portland, Oregon yesterday watching the TBTL Junior Sluggers, a.k.a. the Jalapenos.
Jalapeno!
Play baseball at a high level, taking on the Super Chill Ice Cream team, a team that was 13 wins and 1 loss coming into this playoff showdown. And I'll give you a full report on how that game went. Also, speaking of baseball, there's a baseball dog that's in trouble.
He was a little dog named Snuggles.
And if you've listened to the show for any length of time, you know that I'm siding with the dog, probably in this case. It's a Thursday, a.k.a. a Blur's Day, so
my birthday today.
We'll celebrate the birthdays of some of the listeners, and we'll say hello to this guy, longest-running co-bro of the show, maybe best known for his depictions of the tall ships. He had a little trouble this morning before the program.
No, I'm afraid I just blew myself.
But he's got everything worked out right now. He's Andrew Walsh, and he's joining me right now. Good morning, my friend.
Good morning, Luke. Can we play a little bit of a Guess That Voice? But it's me guessing the voice that you just played. You played a drop at the beginning of the show. I think it was your very first drop that I've heard a million times.
This whole conversation bothers me.
This whole conversation bothers me. And I know that voice, and I don't know that I've ever stopped to think what that is. Is that Woody Harrelson? Is it not Woody Harrelson?
No,
the fact that you're laughing at me makes me think it's not Woody Harrelson.
It's definitely not.
This whole conversation bothers me. I know
this whole conversation bothers me.
Do I know who it is, or is this something
when I say the name, you'll know the person. I don't think you're a regular consumer of their content.
Yeah, is this like a
But I would say you're not in
person?
the right racial category even.
Oh, play it again? No, play it again.
This whole conversation bothers me.
Play it again so I can picture race.
Well, that's where I was hoping you'd take this.
No, just play it again. Play it again.
This whole conversation bothers me.
I am so proud of my ability to identify voices. Even if I struggle with the person's name, I can usually sort of say, oh, it's the guy from that thing or whatever. But I think I've always thought that's Woody Harrelson. Who is it?
Andrew, now you've got me. Why did you do this? Now you've got me in my own head of who I've been thinking it is. It's not Woody Harrelson. I know that much. But I have always, for the last however many years, when I play this drop, I've pictured the person who I thought I grabbed this audio from back in the day. But now you know, my memory is just so shot. Let's see. So I'm playing it one more time.
This whole conversation bothers me.
It's such a familiar voice, and what's driving me a little bit bonkers here is whether or not I'm even thinking Woody Harrelson. I can see him saying that because he does. Sometimes he has a little. I'm hearing a southernish accent in there, right? Where is Woody Harrelson from?
I think Woody Harrelson's from Is he from Indiana, or was that just his character on Cheers?
There you go.
He's got that
southern. When I say he has a southern accent, I meant a southern Indiana accent.
Hey, actually, Andrew, real story, dude. Southern Indiana it's pretty southern down there. Like, I got a friend, Billy Joel Hewells, who plays in the Dusty 45s in Seattle, and he grew up in southern Indiana, and I've been down there occasionally. Southern Indiana has got definitely a southern feel to it, so that's not as crazy as you might think.
Okay, he was born in Midland, Texas, and it does sort of sound like it, but he says he was raised primarily in Lebanon, Ohio, which, I don't know. It sort of sounds a bit like his voice. Sometimes I do feel like I can hear kind of what a Texas accent.
Listen, I don't think you're crazy. I'm going to tell you that every time I've played this drop, I have pictured in my mind the person who I believe said this, and I snagged the audio because I thought it would be funny for TBTL, is Stephen A. Smith.
You think that's Stephen A. Smith?
I have always thought this was Stephen A. Smith.
This whole conversation bothers me.
I still think it's Stephen A. Smith.
I am struggling so much. Now, don't be wrong. I want to be very clear about this. I am not saying you're wrong. I'm saying my mind is blown because I play Stephen A. Smith. I know that voice. I've heard that voice so many times. You know, I listen to a lot of sports radio.
And he's more. Either Stephen A. Smith has become more of a caricature of Stephen A. Smith, or that's not Stephen A. Smith. That could be early. You know how when you play like early Burbank, when you play me from early days of TBTL, and I'm kind of like this, and I'm being like this, and I'm wondering if there hasn't been for Stephen A. Smith a time where he talked, I'm just going to say, more normally like this.
This whole conversation bothers me.
And that he's become so much more over the top with his delivery. Because, yeah, we play a lot of Stephen A. Smith, or you have Stephen A. Smith woven into some of the intro packages.
Yeah,
right?
like this, and this is not recent. This is a drop that I pulled when I was doing the old Cairo radio show with Nick Jarin. So this was from like more than 10 years ago.
You should be banned from talking basketball.
Now, that's a very different delivery.
This whole conversation bothers me.
I still think it's Stephen A. Smith. I just think he's not yelling into the microphone on television the way he. Can you play one more Stephen A. Smith, and then I'm going to play this?
I'm looking at. Do I not have? I swear here. Oh, okay. Well, see, and I'm wondering.
Do you have Stephen A. Smith saying this whole conversation?
Well, we do have one, and I'm wondering, Luke, is there any chance?
Let's find out.
That wires got crossed in your brain because the other big Stephen A. Smith drop that I played all the time on the radio and brought over to the show was him saying, "It bothers me."
And then to come out here with the smile on your face like that, the world is just beautiful. I don't understand it. It bothers me. Enough. You got to get it done. Period.
God, I feel like I'm in the Cairo studio right now with Nick.
I love how subtle the delivery is. You know what? It's highly possible that because of that Stephen A. Smith drop, which you've played a ton over the years.
I used to play a shortened version of it. It bothers me.
That I took bother and I overlaid it onto this drop, the Stephen A. Smith. And
this whole conversation bothers me.
And this whole time I've been picturing the wrong person. That's very possible, in fact. That might be Woody Harrelson. I don't know. It's possible. No.
Yeah,
I don't think it's Woody Harrelson. Here's the thing.
It does sound like a Texas
Woody Harrelson.
accent.
I don't see Woody Harrelson being bothered by any conversation.
That's a good point. That's a really good point. Unless he's acting there, but it doesn't sound like he's mic'd like he's acting.
And then to come out here with the smile on your face like that, the world is just beautiful. I don't understand it. It bothers me.
This whole conversation bothers me.
The more I'm playing it, the more I'm thinking it's not Stephen A. Smith.
I don't think it is. I don't think it is, but I don't want to like tell you you're wrong. It's your tape,
Smith.
you know.
No, but I can't remember. I can't remember anything ever.
What's it slugged?
Well, we know it wasn't from you because it's just slugged. This whole conversation bothers me, but not with your with all your stuff. So we know I put it in. I entered. Oh, wow.
Did you solve it? This would help me so much if you solved it.
I did solve it, and Andrew, I'm going to tell you something.
I'm wrong.
We thought you were racist when you were trying to listen for what a quote-unquote black person sounded like. I
never said
racist.
black. I said I'm listening for race, I believe.
But we all knew you were thinking black.
I honestly didn't know what you were going for.
No, it is a different black man associated with sports drops. It's Herm Edwards.
This whole conversation bothers me.
He was a coach of the Jets. He was a coach of the Arizona Cardinals. And he was annoyed in a post-game press conference.
Okay,
and
yes.
This whole conversation bothers me.
And what happened in my mind was because there was so much play of Stephen A. Smith, and both are in the world of sports. And you're right, they do not sound super similar, but I overlaid the whole thing, and I the whole time for years have been thinking that it's Stephen A. Smith, and it is in fact Herm Edwards.
I just want to hear Herm Edwards talking about something else here. This is, I think, a tape of him. This is something said Herm Edwards on his viral sports rant. Do you think that the viral sports rant is actually...
Is what I just... no, I don't
I think that doesn't sound like a rant.
He had a different rant that he also got kind of, viral for.
Here, can we listen to the rant? Although the rant is going to be the wrong... I feel like it's going to be kind of the wrong tone, but let's take a listen to this.
To win the game. You don't play to just play it.
You play to win the game.
That's the great thing about sports.
That's him.
Yeah. You play to win the game is also him.
Yeah.
Oh, and is it from this? This is...
The thing about sports is you play to win the game.
Oh my gosh, it's all coming together.
Hello? You play to win the game. You don't play to just play it. That's the great thing about sports. You play to win. And I don't care if you don't have any wins. You go play to win. When you start telling me it doesn't matter, then retire.
I can hear him saying this whole conversation bothers me.
We're 2-5.
That was now. This is him more modern day.
I think this was. I think he was the Jets head coach.
Yeah, he's in front of a Jets
when he was
banner
doing that,
there.
and little has changed in Jets Nation.
I know. I feel for him. I don't know much about Herm Edwards. I see his face, on various NFL related programming a lot. I feel like, but I know very little about him. I would not have known that he was the Jets head coach before you telling me this. We like him, right? Tell me that we like him. He's not.
I would tell you that I don't have any strong opinion one way or the other on Herm Edwards. Okay. On Herman Montmartre Edwards, as Wikipedia explains. That's a hell of a middle name. I believe he played for the Eagles, the Jets, and the Kansas City Chiefs. Actually, it's funny. He was born in Monmouth, New Jersey, Fort Monmouth, New Jersey, and then his middle name is Montmartre. They really were leaning into that.
Yeah.
And then he went to high school in Monterey, California. What is with him and things that start with M-O-N-T?
He's obsessed. Why is nobody reported
freaking
on
obsessed. This whole conversation bothers me. I don't have I think that Herm Edwards is just fine. I do like that he did that rant. I thought that was funny. I don't know much about him. I don't have strong feelings.
Oh my gosh. I haven't found the audio of your thing, but I found a write-up that includes the quote, the very thing that started this very interesting conversation for you, me, and the listeners. This was in the New York Post, your newspaper of record, Luke, I believe.
Mm-hmm. Yes, as you know.
The headline from October 31st, 2002 is Herm, we won't quit. And let's see, the lead here says, with their record, a disappointing 2-5 as they prepare for Sunday's game against the 6-1 Chargers in San Diego, the Jets' chances for making the playoffs are as sure as the slipshod footing on the Giants Stadium playing field. And then at the very, very end of this article, it says, added Edwards, this whole conversation bothers me big time. It really does.
You know what
How
you're doing
about
right there,
that?
Andrew?
What?
That's great. I love that we got to we can actually cite the exact moment it happened. But you're doing a Hermism right there. Hermisms are a real thing, Andrew. Edwards is known for his motivational speeches and sound bites given at press conferences, such as, a goal without a plan is a wish. The popularity of Edwards' motivational speaking has even led to the publication of his own book of quotes. And then they've got some of his quotes. There's WikiQuote has a separate page for Herm Edwards quotes with New York. He said, "This is what's great about sports. This is the greatest thing about sports is you play to win the game.
There you
play to win the game."
Okay.
With Kansas City, he said, "I did a lot of preaching this week. I had my sermons ready. The good part is the congregation was listening. I wish I had passed the collection plate. I would have made a lot of money, but I did it for free." It was following a win against the Chargers in 2006. He also said, "Let's not get this thing twisted and think we backed into this deal. We didn't lose. We won. Every team that played this weekend at home and had an opportunity to get into the playoffs, just like us, we didn't just happen to win. What's wrong with that? So let's not get it twisted and say, well, they're lucky. We didn't get lucky. We won." I think they're digging pretty deep for a Hermism there. That just sounds like a normal thing a coach would say. This ain't no Yogi Berra.
Yeah, well, that's not exactly punchy. Also, I just had an idea. You know, we've been talking a lot about Twisted Tea on the show lately because you're obsessed with it for some reason. Mm-hmm. That should be there. You know, people say don't get it twisted. Twisted Tea should reclaim that. It should be get it twisted. Right?
Yeah, that's a freebie for the ad wizards over there at the Twisted Tea Corporation.
I have another marketing idea. You mentioned WikiQuote. I think that WikiQuote and WikiFeet should merge. I think you should be able to go to one place to see people's best quotes and best toes.
Well, no, best quotes about feet.
Oh.
Like, ooh, look at that foot.
That's the best quote.
That's what
That's what
Wiki Feet quotes is. That's what it is. It's like that one time someone said, "Oh boy, that's a nice foot."
Oh, look at that one.
Take a look at that foot. I'd pay money to see that foot, and other such foot-related quotes can be found.
Jay says it's a freaking foot. Anyway, I have totally gotten you off track. You had a hell of a day yesterday.
Yeah,
right?
I've got a big sports update from the world of. I went down to Portland yesterday afternoon. Becca and I got to watch for the first time all season the TBTL. The Jalapenos of the Parkside Little League, a.k.a. the TBTL Sluggers, play a playoff game against their league cross-league rivals, the Super Chill ice cream team. And I should have known because when Becca got there, she just mentioned to me casually, Coach Ben actually works with Becca, is Becca's supervisor technically. Although now that we sponsor the Little League team, I feel like we are his boss.
The dynamics get interesting.
The power has shifted. I think we all sense it. And Becca said, "Yeah, Ben said this other team is really good." And I was like, "Oh no!" And what I sort of know instinctively from playing Little League, but was reminded of last night, is that at this level, at the level that our Sluggers play at, if you have like 4 elite players on your team, if you have even 3 elite players on your team, you can really run the table. And if you've got 4 elite players, you've got the other team in a real jackpot. Because what you need is a kid who can pitch, a kid who can catch, and then a kid who can probably play shortstop. And then you've sort of got, and then you can rotate them around, and you can really be putting up a pretty stiff competition. And that was sort of what we were up against with this other team. The first pitcher they ran out there, kid was dealing, man. He was like, I wouldn't have wanted to stand in against this kid. And you also add in the fact that kids at this age, a few of them can throw really fast, but their control is sometimes spotty.
Oh, so
and I was
uncomfortable up there, huh?
I was so impressed and proud of the Sluggers hitters, who none of them seemed particularly afraid of the ball, afraid to stand in the batter's box. Like, I mean, again, this kid was whipping the ball in. We had a kid, I think, I'm doing this from memory, but we had a kid who took a pitch off the hand. We had another kid who took a pitch that bounced in and hit him on the kind of in the shins. And so, but everybody was in there. Everybody was taking good cuts, doing their best. We were having trouble scoring runs for the first, Andrew, 5 innings, and these games go 6. So just to give you a preview, they had us locked down defensively. And the problem with that was that in the first inning, the Super Chill Ice Cream kids were, in my opinion, anything but. They were getting on base, and then they were stealing every single pitch, because the rule at this age that I learned is that basically, yes, once the pitcher throws the ball, you can start running. And the chances of any battery, if you will, any pitcher-catcher combo at this level, just like regularly throwing the ball to second where the second baseman or shortstop is in position and then, drops the tag down, it's an unlikely
Just
kind of a
give him
situation.
the base, right? Don't even risk it, right?
Right. Now, there is this rule where once the pitcher has the ball in their mitt, you can't be running. So the game actually becomes for the catcher to fire the ball back to the pitcher immediately.
Get it to the
because
pitcher,
once it
and that
gets
shuts
there,
it
it's like
down,
neutralized the run threat.
Interesting. Okay.
So anyway, what the less super chill than I would have liked ice cream team was doing was they were getting on base, and then they were just like stealing and kind of, just they loaded the bases, and then everybody scored. And I want to say a significant number of those runs were scored due to wild pitching or pass balls, or they didn't really like hit. I think it was Zaya was our starting pitcher. They didn't really hit Zaya that hard. They were using the rules of the game. It felt to me like a little less than fun. Mm-hmm. Like it felt to me like the coaches of the other team. Again, when you have a name,
I was about to say, this feels like coaching. This is a coach's decision to have a team kind of all cranked up to do this, right?
Yeah, and yes, it is legal, but it's also kind of like, it just feels like you're creating chaos ball. And at this level, there's enough chaos priced in to the ball, even if you're not stealing every single pitch. And it was, going against our team, so I was feeling a little frustrated, a little resentful. But it was fair. It's within the rules. And so they just, they racked up 4 runs in the first inning. But then Zaya really locked them down in the second inning. They got no runs in the second inning. And then, Andrew, Coach Ben brought in the secret weapon, which is our guy, Crosby. Mm-hmm. Crosby looks like a kid. You know what he looks like? He looks like a younger version of the long-haired kid in Dazed and Confused.
Oh, okay.
Doesn't that kid play baseball too? Doesn't he play baseball in that movie? I feel like.
Well, a lot of people play football in that movie. I think he's new to the football team.
Is he on something else? What's the movie I'm thinking of where there's a kid who's a rangy pitcher with longish hair?
Boy, now that you're saying that, you're like implanting that in my brain. I can picture him being a pitcher,
may have been
but
Woody
I don't think
Harrelson.
there was any. You know what? Can I be honest with you? This whole conversation bothers me.
Andrew,
it's funny you should say that.
Pod to win the game.
You play to win the pod. I don't know. I don't know if he's.
All right, Crosby came in and just absolutely shut down the Super Chill Ice Cream team. I'm talking like. There may have been one inning where he had an immaculate inning. Is the immaculate inning when it's 9 pitches, all for strikes?
That is right. Yes.
An immaculate inning is 9 pitches, all for strikes, right? That's what they're talking about.
Yes, including like fouls that are counted as strikes. Yes.
Sure, but 9 pitches total.
Yeah.
Crosby was dealing. He absolutely shut down the other team, which was amazing. Now, here's the thing. You only get 6 innings in this particular style of play. And so we were the visiting team. We went in the top of the 6th inning, Andrew, down 4-0. We were losing by 4 runs going into the top of the 6th. And we, I think, had 1 hit for the game. Armani had legged out an infield hit at some point and then gotten stranded. So we had no runs and 1 hit. And they had put in, so their first pitcher was really, really tough. And then their second pitcher was still pretty good, but was a little more wild. And then they put in their third pitcher, who was really tough. So you can't have the same kid pitch the whole game. There is a pitch count. The most pitches a kid can throw is 75 pitches. I learned all this yesterday. And so they put in their third pitcher of the game, who was also a really, really good pitcher. He could throw the ball fast, and he was throwing it over the plate. And if you can do that at this level, it's going to be tough. And so, I mean, he had completely shut us down in the 5th inning. There was not any particular reason to expect a different outcome in the top of the sixth other than the pure tenacity, the heart, the grit, the refusing to losing that your TBTL junior sluggers just decided to absolutely access somewhere in their core being. They locked in the top of the sixth inning, and they started working the count. I think it was when I yelled, "We need some traffic here," that they really got the message that we needed some traffic. So we had a couple of walks. We had stolen bases aplenty. Now, this is when I started to really enjoy the idea of stolen bases, Andrew, was when the sluggers were on the base paths and doing exactly the same thing to the other team that they had done to us. Literally the same game plan. It would be getting a walk, getting maybe a single, getting on base, and then just stealing those bases stupid. To the point where, and this was another move that felt not super chill to me, Andrew, the super chill ice cream coaches came in and replaced their catcher mid-inning.
Mid-inning?
Because the catcher who they had was having a little bit of trouble basically stopping the pitches as they came in. And so they had four really elite players. The one of them was the starting pitcher. This was maybe their most elite player. So that kid pitched until I think he wasn't allowed to pitch anymore. Then they put him at catcher, and then he was catching. And then with a 4-0 lead going into the final inning, I think their coaches sort of like just thought, yeah, well, we'll keep rotating, because this is, of course, Little League baseball where everybody's supposed to get to play and experience it and have fun. That's really the goal out here, right? And by the way, full marks to the Jalapenos coaching staff. They were just great. Like, so good at keeping the kids, sort of pumped up and just being like teaching baseball and reminding the kids what they need to do, but not ever doing it in that kind of yelly, stressful coach way that I grew up with. The problem was most of my coaches, not most, but at least some of them were on probation, and they were coaching Little League because it satisfied their community service requirements. That happened to me in two sports, Andrew. In baseball, we had these rocker dudes who wore leather jackets. It looked like the Ramones. They had never seen a baseball or a baseball bat. That was my Little League coaches one year. And then when I played basketball...
Do we know what they were in for?
I think it was vandalism. I think it was some kind of like prank gone wrong where they did some kind of I don't think it was a violent crime. I don't think they'd be allowed to coach kids. But and then in basketball, we had an assistant coach on my JV team who it turned out was, later we found, it was some sort of, it was also community service. Anyway, the Jalapenos mounted this furious comeback where we managed to pick up a run here, a run there. Now it's 4-2. And now the Super Chill Ice Cream coaches pull their catcher and who's again, this is for these kids, like it really is the sort of triumph of victory and the agony of defeat. It's like, it's tough when you strike out. A lot of kids kind of walk back to the dugout. You can see they're emotionally pretty affected by it. Again, it was the Jalapenos coaches are just so great at just gassing the kids up and really, just keeping it positive. But you could just tell to me that this catcher on the other team was doing their best, and a couple balls got by them, and we stole home on that. That's how we got our 2 runs. So then they pull the catcher, and they put their superstar pitcher kid back in at catcher to try to lock it down for the rest of the inning.
Can I pause to
yes, you can.
Kind of examine this for a second?
Please.
Because keep in mind, I wasn't there, and I don't have a kind of a sense of where these players are in their age and development as well as you do and Coach Ben does. But I can really see this.
Many of them drove to the field.
17. I can see it two different ways, and it really has to do with the rest of the vibe of the game itself. This is the only way I would maybe get kind of a little shirty feeling about this, because if this other team is playing a very aggressive brand of baseball that is a sort of take no prisoners, we're going to force a sloppy, chaotic game, force the opponents, in this case, the junior Sluggers, who can do no wrong, in my opinion.
Yes, and
we're going to force them to make errors because we know that at this level, like, if we get them to throw to second, like, it'll go on the, you know what I mean? If they're sort of like playing that brand of baseball, then I do understand, and tone goes into this a lot as well. Like, are the kids just kind of out there having fun, or are they getting a little bit intense and competitive? And if that's the case, removing a catcher because just a couple of balls went by him or whatever, and he's not as, maybe as sharp as you'd want him to be in that moment, that feels a little iffy to me. Having said that, I can also see
felt iffy to me.
And I can see it in another way, though. It's like, this is Little League. We're teaching kids about a lot of stuff, sportsmanship, and also just like, kind of the basics of the game.
Replaced.
And that you can be
Let's
replaced.
teach them that early.
But
we need to prepare them for AI.
Let me put it this way. Like, if this was a game at a level that I would have played at, and I was, as you would know or guess, like, I have zero, aptitude for this at all, and I'm out there and I'm a catcher, and I'm getting upset, I'm getting like emotional, or you can even just tell from my body language that like I'm letting my team down. I just kind of want to cry or something like that. Get that kid out of there. I don't think that,
I do not think that
we should be making kids wear it. You know what I mean?
No,
That's what I mean.
no.
Like, I don't think we should make a kid wear it out there. But if the kid is kind of like competitive and just kind of makes a couple of mistakes, but it's like all within the spirit of the game, and also this is on a team that is really kind of hoping to play that chaos ball, as you put it, like, then I do have an issue with it.
Well, it is, I guess, theoretically possible that this kid called his own number, as it were, but I don't think that's what happened. And when I say he was frustrated, it wasn't like this. The catcher that got replaced wasn't, that I could tell, having an overly emotional moment to where they didn't want to do it. I think this was the so-called super chill coaches wanting to win the game and noticing that the way we were scoring our runs were primarily through stealing home after a pass ball. And so they sent their secret weapon back into, who had already been playing catcher, to be catcher again. And to me, it's
sorry, I think you might have misspoke before. You said that they put their former pitcher in to play catcher.
He was the pitcher at the beginning of the game. Then he was the catcher. Then he wasn't the catcher, and now he's being the catcher again.
So he was both. You didn't misspeak. Oh my God!
It was both.
Wait, in baseball rules, even if you're allowed, you don't have to follow the whole like once we take you out of the game.
No, apparently not. And that's what I'm saying. Like, it felt very strategic to me in a way that was like, it felt a little more, it'd be like having somebody on your team who's coming up in a critical situation, and you know that maybe they're not quite as strong at the plate, and you like pinch hit somehow, sort of somebody who's better for them, because you think that will improve your chances of winning, but it's kind of taking the fun out of it for that first kid. And to me, the spirit of Little League is to, be competitive and to do your best, but ultimately this is about kids having fun. Now, I want to say, everybody at this game, including the fans of the other team, including the other coaches, everybody was actually very nice and encouraging. There was no, bad energy coming from anywhere in particular.
That's big for this story. I think
hugely.
That's good to know.
In fact, if there was any bad energy, it was from me. I was having to, first of all, I was getting very into the game. I was,
oh God,
I was feeling very competitive.
Oh no.
I was, I was able to hold back from overtly criticizing the umpire, who, by the way, was a 15-year-old kid.
Shades of
Linda
DTF,
Cardellini.
Yeah. Oh, which, by the way, did you happen to see also the shoot, I think I sent it to you. I don't want to get us off track. I actually maybe want to talk about this tomorrow. That high school referee or umpire who had to actually
I was referencing that kid yesterday at the game. I was telling everybody about him.
He was like a 16-year-old role model to me. The way he handled a very tense situation with an adult and had to eventually eject the adult out of the game, but did so by maintaining his calm. An amazing story with video to go along with it.
Super. This kid was about the age of that kid, this ump, and he did a just fine job. He really did.
Good.
But it's really one of those things where at this age level, and this is the right thing, by the way, the umpires have a very, very, very expansive strike zone. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. If it's if it's near the plate, we're calling it a strike, because if we didn't, we would be here for a long, long time. So every once in a while, like when a slugger was up and there would be a strike that was called third strike that was like kind of seemed to me out of the zone. Just like my baseball watching muscles are so kind of like, it's so reflexive for me to want to be like, Blue, come on. But then I was like, I didn't do that, but I was thinking it a couple of times. And then I was thinking, I'm not going to be the guy giving this 14-year-old kid a hard time who's doing their best. And I thought, a very good job. All that is to say.
Why do we call them blue when they wear black?
Did they used to wear blue? Maybe. I don't know. It's always been blue.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I've always known it to be called. I wonder if black is in the last 20 or 30 years development. So anyway, it is now, still the 6th inning, but again, they've got a good pitcher up there, and this pitcher is still getting some outs, and Armani comes up to hit, and I think and I might be wrong on this. This is where Coach Ben keeps better notes than I do. I'm thinking it might have been our guy Ollie, might have been Ollie or maybe Fox. Somebody was on second base. It's 2 outs though, Andrew, and we're down 4-2. 4-2 with 2 outs, and Armani is up, and our guy steals third. Again, I'm a big fan of stealing at this point. I think it's chaos ball all the way. It's the only way to do it. It's the only thing that makes sense. Steal on every pitch. We're just absolutely doing what they did in the first inning. And Armani manages to hit a single to the right side of the infield and just like legs it out, an infield single, as our guy on third comes home. Now it's 4-3. Top of the 6th inning. This is our last at bat. And I was like, we're tying this game, aren't we? Armani steals second, steals third. And then even though they've put in arguably their best player at catcher to try to stop this entire scenario, there is a pitch. I think it's high maybe. There's a pitch that gets away from the catcher, and Armani does not even hesitate. He just bombs it for home. Gets home, scores easily, 4-4. Sluggers have tied it. They came back and scored 4 runs in the final frame to tie the game. But the game's not over, Andrew.
Yeah, how many outs are left now after this stolen run?
Base. Don't say Valor.
I was going to say run, stolen run.
It's 4-4 with 2 outs.
4-4 with 2 outs. Ooh, wow, this is like the natural right here. This is
They
exciting.
were able to eventually retire us. So it's tied 4-4 at the end of our side of the 6th inning. And by the way, there's no extra innings in Little League. It's just a tie, even in the playoffs. Because this is, I don't want to get too complicated with the pool play, but essentially, let's be honest, everyone has places to be. If we did extra innings in these games, it would be, the games would be very, very long.
But the ice cream kids bat last. It's like a home game.
I used to have a bumper sticker that said that.
Yeah.
Yes, State Super Chill Ice Cream is the home team. They get to bat in the bottom of the 6th. So we've tied it, but now we've got to get them out in the bottom of the 6th. And this is where, Crosby is still pitching, but he's on a pitch count. The pitch count is 75 pitches at this age. I don't know how many pitches Crosby has, but what I know is with Crosby pitching, we are probably going to get them out without any runs scoring. If he's not pitching, then it becomes a little bit more of an open question. And all I can
Who's
imagine
warming
is
up in the bullpen now, Luke?
Munoz.
Okay.
Nobody was warming up in the bullpen. I was like, oh my God.
No, it's Will
I was
Cox.
like, Coach.
Where'd this guy
I was like,
come
Coach
from?
Ben. I was like, it's Tom Wilhelmsen. I was like, Coach Ben, is someone keeping track? Because I knew the other team would be keeping track. I was like, because Crosby was unhittable. I was like, if they...
So you have access to the coach during the game?
No, I'm saying this psychically.
Oh, you're saying this silently. Okay,
I'm saying this in my own mind. Coach Ben, are you someone keeping track of the pitches? Because I could just see a world where we get the first person out, we get the second person out, and then the State Chill Ice Cream coach is like, hold on.
That's 75.
That was his 75th pitch. That did not happen.
Good.
Amazingly, Crosby still had enough pitches to throw that he was able to... he didn't strike out the side. I think actually they got a base runner. So I think it might have been, I think that person might have even stole second, but he managed to strike out 3 batters, gave up no runs in the bottom of the 6th. Tie game, 4-4. The Sluggers, we did not win, but we also did not lose.
Yeah,
and
honestly,
we played,
this is a hell of
it
an
was
end.
incredible. The tenacity, the determination, everybody just stepping up and just doing what they needed to do in various ways. I mean, it was such truly a team effort. And the coaches, too. Like, it was incredible. I went over near Coach Ben's little kind of post-game, victory speech. And I just kind of like threw my iPhone over the fence and tried to record it. The audio is not great, but take a listen to this. This is Coach Ben hyping up the jalapenos.
Fine. So, but listen, guys, I stayed in there. You kept battling. So proud of you. You kept battling. You didn't give up. We were down to 2 outs. Thank you, Coach John. Yeah, thank you. You were down to 2 outs, and we put together the hits that we needed and the walks that we needed and the amazing base running. Who else go home? Zaya, Atlas, Armani.
So Zaya, Atlas, and Armani all stole home in the final frame.
Wow.
I believe. Let's see. Oh, no. Did I start the file over? Let's see here.
Guys.
Nope.
No, guys, listen. Yeah, you ran out that.
By the way, coaching Little Leaguers is even when you're trying to tell them how good they did, some people are not paying attention.
No, I'm just picturing
we still have to get a guy's listen.
Yeah.
We've still got a guy's listen that we need to deploy. Even in the maybe the most triumphant moment of the Sluggers season and maybe history.
Okay, guys, listen. This team was 13-1 this year. They lost one game all year.
I love the other coach going, now they're 13-1-1. That's nice.
Hey guys, are you proud to be a jalapeno? Yeah! Hey guys, I am so proud of you. That was amazing. Coach Chris, you got anything you want to say?
One of the coolest baseball games I've ever been a part of. You guys, I'm so proud of you for fighting back. You're never out of it. You're never out of it. This time. Yep, and now and guess what? Now they're 13-1-1.
That's right.
What is that? No, they're 13.
Coach Jamie, you got anything you want to say?
No, I'm gobsmacked.
That was Coach Jamie saying she was gobsmacked.
Love that.
Gobsmacked. By the way, I just want to say, not only the coaches of this team are awesome, but the parents. Becca and I were texting about this today. Because we got to, chat with a bunch of the parents of the kids, and even Coach Ben's parents were there. And what a cool group of people. Just like super nice. Again, have the exact right attitude about the games. Like they want the kids to win, but they're not overbearing, but they're also like not interested in the baseball game. You know what I mean? Me and some of the other parents are going back and forth about how we thought that the replacing the catcher thing was a little déclassé. Like, it's just like a really good group of people that I'm like so excited that we can even be tangentially kind of connected to, as the sponsors of the team. Speaking of which, after Coach Ben asked all the other coaches on the team how they felt about it, he just noticed that I was leaning over the fence with my cell phone trying to record it. So he asked me my thoughts. I froze a little bit, but
So impressive. I really love you guys for hanging in there.
Sponsor Luke, you got anything you want to say?
Go help. This is the most pressure I've ever felt in the public speaking.
Baba Booey.
Baba Booey, Baba Booey. Baba Booey. Go jalapenos. Woo! You guys are incredible. Nice job. Yeah. See, Andrew, that really, though, was the critical part of the whole tape. Did you hear one of the jalapenos go, "Are you TBTL?"
I heard something about TBTL.
They did a cheer.
Yeah.
They did a cheer.
That.
Listen to this again. This was my favorite part of the entire
How do we not leave with this?
You guys are incredible. Nice job. Yeah.
Listen to that. Yeah. Nobody's been that excited about TBTL in the history of the show.
Nor will they ever be again.
Incredible.
So now here's the thing. Because of the vagaries of the pool playoff, et cetera, even though we ended up tied with the Stay Chill Ice Cream team or Super Chill Ice Cream team, because of some run differential, tiebreaker, whatever, this does bring to a close the TBTL Junior Slugger season.
Even though weren't we racking up a bunch of runs in a recent game, and you said actually there's not a mercy rule in this particular case because the point differential does matter in a tiebreaker situation. Yet we didn't rack up enough. We weren't Machiavellian enough, apparently.
The Jalapenos and the Super Chill both ended pool play with a record of 1-0-1. Ben says, I thought the tiebreaker was run differential, but it's actually runs allowed. So by this standard, we lose out to Super Chill by 1 run.
Oh, now
we'd allowed 7 runs over the tournament, and they'd given up 6. So does the catcher swap make more sense to you now? Oh, boy. Listeners, I wish you could see Andrew's face because maybe you'd know what the hell's going on because I don't.
I'm a little. I am. That news hurts a little bit, to be honest with you. Like, we were on the Super Chill website the other day, and we realized that it's not only a baseball team, but a team that is named after a company, and the company is literally run by children, and according to their website, started by children, founded by children. It couldn't be a more wholesome, inspiring story.
Yeah.
Yet what I'm doing in my mind right now is thinking if we can double our investment in the junior sluggers next year and just absolutely destroy. Can we send? What is that place? I think it's in Oregon that pitchers, MLB pitchers go to, and they
Well, there's one actually.
Is it Washington?
There's one south of Seattle. Yeah,
it's in Washington. Okay,
yeah, it's where Tim Lincecum would go.
Exactly.
It's
speaking of Tim Lincecum, that's sort of not to change the subject too much here, but I wanted to bring up Tim Lincecum because. Speaking of wins, I'm going to play a little tape for you here. I'll let you figure out what it is. But we are celebrating more than one win today, although I guess that was kind of a tie yesterday.
That was a win in my book.
Yeah.
We were down 4-0 in the final inning.
Hey, so we concentrate now. Concentrate up there. Pitch. Strike two.
Okay, the catcher's coming out to the mound. You'll know what this is in a second.
What is going on?
Forget about those guys. Let's just get this last guy out, okay? Easy for your ass to say.
Do you know who that is?
Yeah, it's a long-haired kid in Dazed and Confused.
Dazed and Confused,
right?
You're absolutely right. I completely forgot about this scene. The win that I'm talking about is the win for one Lucas Christian
LB.
Burbank.
I
used to watch this movie daily in high school, and I'd forgotten that the whole thing is it's the last day of school or school is wrapped up, and all of the freshmen, I think, are supposed to get, I don't know if it's the incoming freshmen or the outgoing freshmen, are supposed to get paddled by the seniors. And so the seniors are sort of stalking this kid who somehow evaded them throughout the day, but now he's pitching his baseball game at night, exactly as you're picturing him, with the long hair down to his shoulders and nervously sort of hooking his hair behind his ear. And as you were telling your story about yesterday, I was looking this up, and I was also realizing, also every time Tim Lincecum came up on the mound, I would think of this kid. Yeah, they had kind of similar hair and sort of build and stuff, right?
That was pretty much what Crosby looked like out there. By the way, it's Driveline Baseball.
Driveline, right.
Is that place where they go and everyone works on their spin rate, et cetera. So, yeah, what you're saying is we need to basically invest whatever we have to as a podcast into the team so that next year when we come back, we can take down the behemoth that is Super Chill Ice Cream. But I just got to tell you, Andrew, being there, watching, just watching how these kids were with each other and with the coaches and, again, the families and everything. And it was just a beautiful Wednesday evening in Portland, Oregon. And we mounted a heroic 4-run comeback in the final inning. It was great. I was so excited. I don't think he'd be embarrassed if I mentioned this, but at one point before I was actually recording the post-game speech, I am pretty sure Coach Ben got choked up.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought that was really, really sweet because, these adults put a lot of time into this too. And so anyway, it was just, to me, it felt like a W.
I did want to say that talking about the other team in how I mentioned it sort of seems like it's from the coaches down that you sort of inspire this sort of I would say aggressive approach to base running and everything.
Well,
that this other team
to be
had.
fair, we did the exact same thing
later, but I almost feel like our team learned it from the other coaches. I was going to ask you how we feel about our coaching situation as we wrap up the season, and if we're what we're looking at for next year, and if we do need to just kind of explore options, because it does sound like Coach Ben might be a little soft.
Well, he did go out to the mound twice in the same inning, and then they couldn't switch pitchers. Oh, I'm sorry. That was Dan Wilson. I'm sorry. That was a major league manager who cost us a game. I thought Coach Ben handled this perfectly, actually. He worked with everything he had. He got the most out of the players, and everybody had a really fun time. And, man, like, those jalapenos were so hyped after that game.
Yeah.
It was really, again, it was just... It couldn't have gone much better, and it was almost more fun than if they would have just if they would have been playing a team that was like inferior to them, and they were just kind of like teeing off on them. I mean, that would have been kind of cool. But this was a game where they went up against a team that was really good and really looked like was going to beat them, and then they didn't let it happen.
And didn't give up.
Like,
and the fact that the rally happened so late in the game,
Yes.
literally so late in the season.
And with 2 outs at a certain point, Armani, if he doesn't get that hit, if he doesn't make it to first before they throw to first, inning over.
Yeah.
And then if he doesn't steal home, game over, I should say. So I'm very, very proud of the junior sluggers.
Yeah,
and
me too.
Looking forward to next season.
And my teasing, of course, towards Coach Ben, I assume is going to be accepted in the spirit with which I say it.
You guys are actually very similar.
Yeah.
You're both
We're
Ohioans.
both handsome. Yeah.
Did you hear his Ohio? Did you hear a bit of that Ohio accent coming out? He's a Shaker Heights guy.
I didn't notice
when
that.
He was exhorting the team. You guys both also like to kid too hard.
Yes,
so
but
that's good.
but in all seriousness, though, and kidding aside and teasing aside, I am very appreciative of Coach Ben for giving us this opportunity to be a part of this of these kids' lives and these games. Like, no joke, and also just the joy that Coach Ben has brought the TBTL listeners. I'm getting so many emails from people, and also like our friend Mary, who I saw at Pop-Up a couple of weeks ago, was just mentioning again.
The ranter and raver?
Exactly, how just she knows something about writing, right? And just couldn't stop talking about how great Coach Ben's updates are, and his writing, and the inspiration that he brings the Tens. Like, that's a real thing. So if I can put my sarcasm aside for a moment, I just want to thank him and the team again for giving us this opportunity. It's really, really been fun for the show.
Yeah, being there was, I will say, of this. Are we still in spring? It's not summer yet, right? Probably this is one of the highlights of my spring. I'm not even kidding. Was just getting to watch them play baseball and get to be around everybody. So, upward and onward towards next season. Pitchers and catchers report in in 9 months, Andrew, as I always say.
We was hoping for some razzle-dazzle.
Razzle-dazzle.
That's right, man. Razzle-dazzle.
On your mark. On your mark. Get set. Get set. Now ready. Ready. Go. Everybody razzle dazzle. Everybody.
All right, let's thank some dazzling donors. Much like we are the patrons of the TBTL Junior Sluggers / Jalapenos, these are the patrons of TBTL. And the way we can be the patrons of the Little League team is because of the donations that we get from folks like Rebecca Butler out there in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
Thank you, Rebecca.
Rebecca says, hey, friendos, last year I used my Dazzler to remind you to hug someone consensually. Obs. Touch helps reduce stress hormones. Even a self-hug counts. So again, hug somebody today.
With consent.
Why don't you hug a potato like everybody else?
I went to fist bump somebody the other day, and she did not want to touch me.
And that was a stranger?
It was a woman who
was
is...
it Lucy?
It was Lucy. I said, bump, bump. No, it was... I don't know why I brought this up. It's clearly living in my head. It's a woman who is at Pop-Up. She's like a customer. So she's somebody who comes through the line and gets a bunch of food from us. And she is somebody who is usually the very first person there. She's the very first person in line. Sometimes she helps out a little bit, but usually she's just sort of waiting. She's also a little bit persnickety about things. She's one of those people who wants things in a very, very specific way, or will sort of let you know if she would prefer if you had a different kind of food or beverage or something like that. But she's generally a good person, a woman. I'm going to put her maybe 15 years older than me or something like that. And I will say that sometimes, depending on my mood, my interactions with her are warm. And I'm putting this totally on me. They can be warmer, or they can be sometimes I'm like, I just don't know if I really have tons of time to deal with what you're putting out there today. But it's never unpleasant. I don't think it's ever been unpleasant. But we're generally friendly. And I was in a very gregarious mood on Sunday, and I was kind of bopping around. We're about to start
twisted
serving.
teas in.
that would add a dynamic, wouldn't it?
It sure would.
But it's like all the customers are chill, but why is that volunteer slurring his words? But anyway, I was just kind of feeling myself and whatever. And then and what we do out there often, whether it's between volunteers or people come through the line, if you're going to greet or touch in any way, a fist bump is usually kind of a very safe way to sort of not make people feel on the spot about touching you or whatever.
Yeah,
and also we're handling
totally.
food and stuff, and it's just kind of a thing that I'm just in the habit of sort of kind of lightly fist bumping my friends out there. And I went to sort of fist bump her, and she kind of just pulled back a little bit, and then she did do this gesture where she put her hands together in front of her like a kind of and did a little bit of a nod towards me, and I think that was her way of saying I'm not comfortable being touched, which is totally fine. So if this story started with me sounding like I was put off, it was one of those things because I am such a god darn weirdo. In that moment, I knew intellectually exactly what she was doing. She was sharing my greeting with me, but in a way that made her feel more safe and comfortable, which is totally her right to do. But also, I'm a goddamn weirdo. I'm kind of like, you could have just fist bumped me. I
was wondering about the sort of acceptability of offering a fist bump to a runner that I did not know. I was running on Sunset a couple weeks ago or whenever it was when I was in L.A., and there was another runner coming in the other direction. And I feel very bonded to the other runners on Sunset because it's kind of a situation out there. There's just like I said, there's a lot of stuff to step over and to avoid. There's a lot of stoplights. There's a lot of drivers who might mow you down. It's just kind of like it's a chaotic environment that I kind of weirdly love, but also I feel like we're in this together, me and the other joggers out there on Sunset in the morning. And this guy was coming from the opposite direction, and I was really tempted to just kind of because I wave if there's a jogger, if we're not crossing paths, but coming from opposite directions, I'll give a wave. And I almost just wanted to fist bump this guy. I wanted to throw my fist out there, but I was like, that is really, I mean, I don't think it's inappropriate. Well, I don't think it's inappropriate, but also, asking a complete stranger to fist bump you, as opposed to even this person at pop-up who you kind of know, who you've interacted with a lot. I didn't, but I was wondering. I also would not have done that if it was a woman, obviously. But what
about a dog?
I don't know. You know what I'm always out there high-fiving. People get annoyed at me. I'm obsessed with the cooler robots that are all on Sunset.
Oh, the robots. That have little.
They look like a cooler on wheels. They got a flag coming off.
I thought you meant I'm not into the nerdy robots. I'm only into the
only
robots.
The cool ones. Yeah. The robots that they all have names like Coco and Oto and whatever. And I've said before on the show, I don't understand how they work. I don't know what the app would be. I've seen them moving occasionally. I've never seen someone getting something out of them.
I would just be looking for the John Mulaney app. I don't know. He had one on his show.
Yeah, right, because of course, they had one on that show. What was that one called?
I don't know, but I was embarrassed on TBTL when you told me that's not the real brand. That's a joke brand that they use.
But it's such a great name. It's like a perfect play on what these. But these are the weird. They are sort of the weirdest things to me because I understand Waymo. I take Waymos. I see people in Waymos. I don't know how people are ordering stuff from these robots and then where the robot goes. If you order something on DoorDash, a human being grabs the thing and then they bring it to the maybe hotel lobby if that's where you're staying or the front of your apartment building or whatever. I don't really know how to interact with these robots on wheels other than to low-five them when I run past them. And I've been putting videos of it on Instagram. And some people are like, this is not good. Do not celebrate the robots.
Oh, don't praise the machine.
Don't praise the machine. Let's praise Rebecca Butler, and let's finish reading this message. Rebecca says, this year I also want to share about an org that I volunteer with. It's called In Kind Baking Project. We're a volunteer nonprofit in the Philly area connecting home bakers with community orgs and neighbors who could use some kindness and joy. What started in 2017 as a way to welcome immigrant communities has now reached 50,000 plus people.
Holy
smokes,
macaroons.
some big numbers. Our volunteers bake and deliver homemade treats to orgs that support youths, Rebecca wonders, folks navigating transitions, and people facing hardship and food insecurity. Wow, they're baking and delivering home goods to people that could really use it. Just in it for the big bucks.
Yeah.
Sick. Baking for someone else is a small act of resistance. It interrupts isolation, and it turns frustration into joy. It's a way to say what you do is so important. That's really a good point. I mean, on this show, oftentimes related to dazzling donor messages or whatever, we're grappling with this question of like pushing back against the darkness and resistance, and how we all feel just kind of like under threat all the time in this current political environment. But yeah, I could see how baking a bunch of cinnamon rolls, knowing that they're going to go to people who could really use a cinnamon roll in their day, would like somehow, I could see it being empowering to feel like the world isn't quite as dark as it feels. So what a great idea. Rebecca says, bake, donate, deliver joy. You can check it out at inkindbakingproject.org. That's inkindbakingproject.org. In these unreasonable times. Be unreasonably kind. Oh, there's my next speech.
There it is.
I've got to get back on the keynote speaking circuit. That is a good framing situation, Rebecca. What were you going to say, Andrew?
I was going to say that I am on the website right now for inkindbakingproject.org because I was curious if this is still just a Philadelphia thing or if it's expanded to other cities. And I'm actually on the frequently asked questions page right now and says, do you bake in my town? I think this is maybe useful information for people who want to get involved in some way or another. It says, we are currently most active within the city of Philadelphia with occasional requests in the surrounding counties, including New Jersey. That said, we are always open to new partnerships and expanded geographies, provided we have bakers in that area. If you would like to see more events in your town, feel free to be an ambassador. If you'd like to help expand our efforts, drop us an email, inkindbakingphl@gmail.com. You can also just go to the website that we've already given out a couple of times, inkindbakingproject.org, and you can get the information there. But, you know, there might be, I mean, I just know that we have a lot of people who love baking in our audience, and maybe there's somebody who would be interested in looking at being an ambassador in some way or expanding it out. I'm not trying to get ahead of ourselves here, but I just want to let people know that that is an option. The organization is looking for people, even outside of Philadelphia, who might want to get involved in some way or another.
And yeah, our listeners tend to love baking and helping people. So this could really bring together a couple of their passions. Rebecca says, and thanks for all you do to deliver joy to us tens. I didn't want to leave out the part that pats us on the back.
No, absolutely not. And also, you know, I've been into branding lately. Was that off air or on air that I was giving you branding ideas? I can't remember. But I would suggest maybe the tagline, let's get baked. For in-kind baking project. Just throwing that out there.
You're thinking of that other part from Dazed and Confused.
Yeah, I probably am.
Yeah. Thanks, Rebecca. We really appreciate you. Maestro.
On your mark.
On your mark.
Get set.
Get set.
Now ready.
Ready. Go.
Everybody rattle, dazzle.
It's our friend Kenneth Ney out there in Ypsilanti, Michigan. I always think, I mean, Ken is one of the sweetest dudes you'll ever meet, but I just always think of him as Ken the knife wielder.
Yes, from our adventures in Florida.
That was Florida, right?
Yeah, I believe so, yeah.
We had a cake.
Yep.
And we didn't have a knife. And we were also walking down the street, I feel. Like there was a lot going on. This was after some event. And I remember, I think Ken dashed into a restaurant or something and got
knocking on the window of a restaurant with a knife, wanting another knife.
Somehow got someone to loan us a knife and then came down the street holding the knife aloft because he had retrieved the tool that we needed. Ken says, hi, Luke, Andrew, and John. I filled this out real late because I procrastinated and eventually forgot about it. But I was pretty motivated after Michigan's huge college basketball win yesterday. Okay, so that puts this back in March, I guess. I'm guessing that would have been in the tournament. Congrats to Yaxel, Trey, Roddy, Will, Ade, Morez, Nimery, and finals MVP Elliott. I'm guessing those are... Oh, yeah, Michigan won the whole thing. I forgot about that.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
I'm more of a Fab Five freshman guy, but okay, we'll take it. How many of the Fab Five freshmen can you name?
Let's see here. Y'all start eating cars, then you start eating bars. Fab Five Freddy. What?
Yeah, that was good. That was pretty close.
Sure, yeah, that was
I
nowhere
used
near
to,
close.
back in my high school basketball days, I could have named them. Michigan, back in the day, had these 5 freshmen that were absolutely phenomenal, and they were just like a phenomenon both in basketball and just in like culture, and their shorts were really long. I feel like they were the first guys I saw wearing their basketball shorts long, and I was like, that's what I'm doing now. And it was like Chris Webber, it was Jalen Rose. Those were like sort of the 2 big stars, and then it was this is not fun for anyone except me and Ken. But Ken, congratulations to Michigan for winning the national championship. It was a great year, and with Dusty May as the head coach for a while. Are you sure Dusty May isn't a country singer that did our show at Stubbs? Oh wait, that was Shaky Graves. Dusty May's a heck of a name for your coach.
Yeah, Dusty May. I could see like Dusty May's Greatest Hits definitely has like a pickup truck on the cover, right?
Yeah. Oh, without a doubt. Yeah. With Dusty May as the head coach for a while, hopefully the future continues to look bright. The Big Ten is also the current men's and women's basketball champions, as well as winning the last 3 college football championships. I'm pretty happy despite the political climate. Hey, Ken, that's you finding some joy in the Big Ten. I love that for you. I do think the midterms will be great for the Dems as long as the elections are free and fair. Well, from your lips to God's ears, Ken, I'm holding out. I'm holding out hope. I think the hope battery, Andrew. We're not having this conversation right now. I'm really not trying to get into handicapping the politics of the midterms, but I think I can feel the hope battery recharging in me a little bit.
Oh, good. I wasn't sure how you were going to finish that sentence.
Because it was pretty depleted, obviously, after the last presidential election. I do think the midterms will be great for Dems as long as the elections are free and fair. Switching back to TBTL, I'm happy to be able to dazzle for the 2nd year in a row. I hope to see a live show in the future. We hope to do a live show in the future, Ken, so those may dovetail. I missed the show in Friendship, Wisconsin, because I was on a family trip to Niagara Falls. So it's been a long time since I've seen you in Philly. The sooner you can tell us the dates, the better. Power out. Ken, I can't tell you the dates, but what I can tell you is we are having conversations about things. In fact, we're having those conversations before the show. So when we know and when we have more info, we will pass that on and we will give everybody plenty of heads up on things that are happening.
I mean, is it okay for me to say that, and I'm not saying this is definitely the next live show we're going to do. We might do one in between now and then, but I know a lot of people are asking questions about the 5,000th show. We have not made any solid plans about anything yet. That's still a ways away. In fact, it's still over a year away, but we can tell people that we've looked at the calendar, and it looks like it is like the 5,000th episode as it stands right now looks like it's going to be hitting somewhere in June, probably around Memorial Day weekend. But again, I'm not saying that we're doing something on that weekend. We don't know yet. But if we're looking at the calendar, just counting days, 2027 around Memorial Day, that looks like where the energy is being pushed. So I don't know. We'll see. And again, I'm not withholding anything here. That's literally all we know.
Yes, but people also have calendars. So some of them may have done the math themselves. But let's confirm that's what we've got circled on the calendar. We are going to do a big thing for the 5,000th. We don't know what that big thing is yet, but it will be happening. And we will, when we lock in on a date, we'll shout it from the mountaintop so that everybody can make their plans if they would like to come hang out with us. And I mean, and again, we may have other stuff happening between now and then as well, but we will try to give everybody as much heads up. It's not going to be one of those things where we're like, we don't want to make a big deal of it. We're going to make too big of a deal of it.
We'll be
the listeners are going to be kind of sick of us by the. They're going to be like, all right, that was good. Let's shut it down after our 5,000.
I'm going to be 50 years old for the 5,000th episode. I think you might be. You would be 50. You would be.
I'll be 51. I'll be the elder statesman of podcasting.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll be the oldest podcaster in America at 51.
Yeah, I would assume.
Is that possible?
No.
Anyway, Ken, thanks, man, and go Wolverines.
Hello and welcome to Top Story.
All right, quickly, before we jump to the Blurs days, Andrew, I'm sure you've seen the headline bouncing around about this Dodgers player playing in the minors, but who's a very highly prized prospect, a guy named Kendall George, injuring his patellar tendon because he was trying to avoid the bat dog at this AA game, the Tulsa Drillers. basically what happens is this guy is on base, and there's a hit, and he's coming home to score. He steps on home plate, and then, our listeners may not know this, but a lot of minor league teams have trained dogs to go out and get the bat. So the guy hitting swings, hits the ball, drops the bat at home plate, runs to first. At the major league level, there's a bat boy or a bat kid that goes out and gets those. I think it's a fun gimmick that the minors have embraced, is like, what if we had a cute dog do it? And most of the time, I think that goes pretty well. In this case, as Kendall George, when I read the headline, I assumed he was like at home plate, and it was like a collision with the dog at home plate, or the catcher was there. No, it was the play at home plate. The throw didn't even go home. It was unchallenged. He's just jogging in. He's stepping on home plate. It's as he's getting towards the dugout, the dog comes firing out to go get the bat and kind of runs towards him. And this guy kind of does an awkward jump to avoid the dog, and then he lands. And then this is the thing, Andrew. And I know I'm such a caninist, but like, he throws his helmet down and is clearly pissed at the dog. He doesn't do anything to the dog. He's just obviously angry. Now, why
in
is
the
he angry?
actual moment, right? Like, yeah, he's like
in the moment.
Immediately, he realizes as he's avoiding the dog, because I'm kind of watching it over and over here, because I only saw this once the other day when it came across my transom. He kind of lifts his leg up to avoid the dog, and then immediately he can feel that something is wrong in his knee, and he comes down weird, and he starts hopping, and he's like, "Oh my God, I'm hurt,"
and he's mad. He's like, now again, this is a guy whose entire livelihood is dependent on his knee working, and he just injured it to a degree that he's not quite sure about. So I get that it's like a stressful moment for him, and his career may be flashing in front of his eyes. I don't want to minimize that. But I swear to God, if anybody says anything mean to that perfect angel of a dog that I saw running at, all the dog was doing was what it was
doing its job,
supposed to do. And of course, there's some, I don't know if there's probably a person holding the dog back. They're never going to send the dog out when there's still a play at the plate. Like, I honestly feel like this is it's half on the Dodgers prospect and half on the dog, because he had options. He could have taken a different line to the dugout. Again, he's not at the plate. In my mind, this is 50-50. I think this is him not being aware of where the dog was, and this is whoever was handling the dog not being aware. I'll tell you who's blameless in this: the dog. And I went from being like, oh man, when I read the headline, I was like, oh, that really sucks for that guy that he got injured avoiding the bat dog. And then when I saw the anger on his face and knew that it was directed even just sort of emotionally and sort of spiritually at the dog, I immediately became team dog and wished nothing but bad upon Kendall George. And that's not the right response. Well, but that's what I'm telling you. When someone is mad at an animal that didn't do anything intentionally wrong, they're on my list.
Well, I'm not mad at anybody, but I will just say that, like, if he's mad, maybe he should be mad at his strength and conditioning team, because, like, as I watched this video over and over again, the dog did not do anything that made him like kind of have to do something so physically unusual that he should have hurt himself. He just lifts his leg up. Like, that's it. Like, he's not contorting himself in some weird way.
He does a little jump.
He kind of jumps and raises
down
his right.
When he lands from the jump, I think that's when he messes.
Yeah, but I mean, again, like, that could have easily been a ball coming his way or something like that when he's on the base paths or something. Like, the dog does not cause him to do anything strange. It's just one of those weird moments. I mean, who was it? Our former closer who went over to the Mets and then got injured. He was like the best closer in baseball a couple of years ago. Might still be.
I can never remember his last name.
But he got hurt, in the Baseball World Classic, celebrating, just jumping off the mound or something like that. And so, like, I don't know. You're right. I don't think you can be mad at this dog. But again,
Edwin Diaz, maybe.
Diaz is exactly who I was talking about. But that's also a split second in time. All this guy, he looks mad because his knee hurts in that moment. You know what I mean? Who knows?
But he's not just like. he's mad at the dog. And I mean, right? But like, because if he would have just twisted his knee, and again, he gets to be mad. He gets to be upset that he hurt his knee. But like, he looks back towards the dog. Here's what I'm reading in his reaction. He never liked that dog.
Oh, interesting.
You've watched his reaction too, right?
I was just watching it over. Just that very, very split second though, and we're judging.
He slams down his batting helmet, and he yells something. I'm not a John boy. I can't read lips. I actually been finding myself watching that John Boy stuff.
Oh my God, I'm obsessed. Have you seen his breakdown of Josh Naylor when he was still a Guardian, or maybe they weren't called the Guardians at that point, where Josh Naylor is just going around saying they fed me. You have to watch it. It's one of the most amazing John Boy videos, especially given our love of Josh Naylor. It's this whole thing about how his team was down against, I want to say, a Chicago team, but I could be wrong about that, playing on the road, and the fans are heckling him and giving him a hard time, and then that ends up like fueling him, and he ends up it's not a walk-off situation, but he ends up winning the game for Cleveland, and like they're doing a lot of the lip reading, but also you could hear Josh is screaming like, they fed me. He's like going insane. He's going
That's so funny because
insane. It's
his
so
personality
great.
Seems so not that typically like he's got his whole own energy out there, which they'll study for years to come, like what his deal is, and I love his deal, obviously,
so much.
But it's not strictly like
it's not that intense. Like
it's not that I got your ass.
No,
kind of
you
thing,
gotta watch it. I've watched that probably like 5 times. I just keep showing it to people. Anyway, do recommend that. But yeah, I mean, I guess
I
he's
wish
mad
this.
at the
I do wish
dog.
this guy the best, but I don't want them to stop having bat dogs because I love that.
And also, let's not bury the lead on these unis, man. These Tulsa jerseys. What do you think of the? Do you have eyes on this
let me
video
get back
still?
to that page.
This Tulsa jersey is sweet. I love that font. It's like a rich blue jersey with like kind of a scripty Tulsa across it with a long head on the T that slashes through the cursive
I feel
L.
like I've seen that I've seen Tulsa being written that way other places. Is that like the official? Is there an official Tulsa font or something?
I don't know. This is again the
like
first time seeing it, and then it's got the LA logo on the shoulder, which I didn't know that they did that. Like, like the obviously the Rainiers, but what is this? Is this AAA? This
is Double A.
This is Double A, so that would be
it's the Tulsa Drillers of Double A, and it feeds up, I believe, to the Dodgers.
But like, are the Everett Aqua Sox, are they part of the Mariners system?
Well, they used to be. That's a good question.
Do the Mariners have their logo, I guess is my question, on the minor league team sleeves, or is this an LA thing? It's kind of cool, actually.
Yeah. Let's see. Everett Aqua Sox. There's a Mariner. I can never say this, Andrew. Trident.
Yeah.
Trident.
Yep.
The E in the Everett Aqua Sox
on its side.
Actually, maybe this is a trident. At least in this one that I'm looking at.
Yeah, no, that is the E is the Aqua Sox logo is like the Mariners trident sort of turned on its side.
Right, so they do. E, So I just was wondering if they still fed up to the Mariners or not, because I feel like I haven't heard about when I'm like listening to a Mariner game is like so and so did this for the Aqua Sox tonight. That's kind of how I always track what our minor league system is. It's like, what was the Arkansas Travelers or something?
Yeah, the
we had
Travelers.
for a while?
And I think, they did this big shakeup that was in the interest of mega millionaires who run the MLB.
Good.
Yeah.
Arkansas Travelers does sound like a group of guys who would start a roofing job on an old lady's house, but then abscond with most of the money.
Yeah, I like that. People always get really excited about the, I can't remember what town it is, but like the MLB announcers love mentioning like the so-and-so Trash Pandas, which is like a minor league team. And
that's two laser cats for me.
Yeah, and a Trash Panda is slang for like a
raccoon.
Raccoon. So is that a blueberry? We heard there, but thank you. I couldn't think of the word raccoon.
Sorry, I felt my oxidant levels rising, and I had to anti them.
No, absolutely understood. We got to keep you healthy during the show. But anyway, that's just a little bit too like, oh, isn't that clever? Like I like the Travelers because it's just like so workmanlike.
Yeah, that is true. It's not part of a trend. There's no
clever
memification of Travelers right now, so I'll give that to him.
There's a right way to rock and a wrong way to roll. You can just listen to your soul. Just remember that life is number one. You can be having so much fun.
take a note, Luke?
Yes.
We got a voice memo from our friend Lisa in the Chicago area, formerly from Southern California. San Diego.
Well, Oceanside, I think.
Oceanside, yeah, I couldn't think of the town. She sent us a great story about her getting out of a ticket. And she showed up in court, my friend. It is a
wow.
You need men standing on those walls type of story, and I am very excited.
We've had a lot of people
you.
weighing in on Genevieve's
ticket
with all kinds of tips and tricks.
Exactly. So I want to play that for. I want to play it for you right now, but we can't. We don't have time. We have Blur's Days, but I'd really like to get to that in tomorrow's show. I thought it'd be funny if I said we don't have time for that, and then I just let the music play for like 3.5 minutes. If you have a birthday to celebrate, send it my way. Put Blur's Day in the subject line and send it to this email address, andrew@tbtl.net. We will wish you a happy Blur's Day. We will wish your friends and loved ones happy Blur's Days. I got this note from Virginia that says, Happy Blur's Day to Holly. You save pups' lives and make mine bright. Thank you for being you and being my friend.
Cute.
You know what Holly thinks of that story we were just talking about? She's definitely siding with the bat dog. Do we have a name on that bat dog, by the way? Did you say it?
No, and that's
criminal.
That is I don't care about the first round prospect for the Dodgers organization. They've had enough. I want to know the name of that bat dog, and I want to make sure that bat dog is being protected. Nobody is allowed to be mean to that bat dog.
So they're called the Tulsa Drillers. They've suspended their bat dog program.
No.
This decision followed a freak accident. Now, this is AI overview, but it's,
This was exactly what I was worried about.
According to the AI MLB bat dog program reportedly to be suspended. This is from Bleacher Report. But does it get us
program wide? All of the bat dogs are now going to be
in this for this particular team, I think.
So it's only for the Drillers.
That's my understanding. It looks like the Dodgers are thinking about stopping this program,
or train the dogs how to hit. Put them on the team.
What about that?
Don't
I
run
like
from
that.
it. Run towards it.
I like that. I'm looking here to see if they name the dog. You know, they might be protecting the name of the dog because they don't want the dog to get like hate mail.
Yeah,
I could absolutely see that.
Oh, I found
happening.
it. It's they call him Old Knee Buster.
Old Knee Buster. Oh, that makes sense. Old wet knees. By the way, happy Blur's Day, Holly. I think Holly might be in my old neck of the woods of Lakewood, Ohio, or used to be. Or I'm confusing you with somebody else. Either way, I hope you have a great birthday. Lisa in Bend says, I'm time banditing. And somehow that also makes my Blur's Day shout out for my friend Maya late. That is not really an excuse, but it is all I have. Sorry, Maya. You're an awesome friend and my favorite 10 to attend live events with. I hope we can catch up IRL soon and that your birthday was awesome. Happy Blur's Day, Maya. Denny says, I'm writing a narcissistic email to thump my chest for my golden Blur's Day.
Nice.
76 years.
76 years, Denny?
Nice. And Denny gives his last name here. It says Denny Gummer.
Yeah.
My comedic cousin used to call me Gummer. That might be the name of the bat dog.
Happy birthday, Denny. 76.
Absolutely.
Heck yeah, man.
76 years young. Denny often sending us emails. Been a part of TBTL for a long, long time. Also got this note. Happy Blur's Day to Nancy from Meg. Do you remember the time we went to the King's Table Buffet on Lake City Way to celebrate your birthday in 1989? We had iron stomachs back then. Cheers.
I went to that King's Table, by the way, on Lake City Way.
I'm mad that I called it the King's Table. That was a typo of my mouth. Not
King's Table. Did you have those in Ohio?
No, I've never heard of this. Tell me everything.
Well, it was, I actually remember we went, when I was a very, very, very little kid, I remember going to a King's Table in Eureka, California. So I would have been like under the age of 4. But then, I don't know if I think at one point I might have actually gone to the Lake City one. But what I really know is that we drove past it every single Sunday on our way to church. And it was, I don't know if you know, I don't know what's there anymore. but it was kind of like the part of where, so you're past the Eagles now, Andrew, so you're heading north on Lake City Way, right?
Okay, you're heading down like towards the Wendy's, but you're probably nowhere near that far down yet.
You're just going down that hill, right? So you're past... It's kind of that area where there aren't any businesses. It's kind of a green space.
Yeah, and that old dive bar that just closed down.
Yes, the Shanty.
The Shanty Tavern.
You're past the Shanty,
Okay,
so you keep going past the Shanty, and you kind of get into this part, if my memory serves, where there's the big high kind of, I don't know, area on one side. It's not a bunch of businesses. It's kind of a little more green space, and then you kind of bottom out and you start to move to the left, and now that's right where I think there's like a keg store or beer store on the right, or something that sells beer on the right, and on the left is what used to be the King's Table. Then it became an Italian restaurant for many, many years that had a gondola guy painted on it, and I think now it's just like some kind of business park.
It might have been the Growler guys. Isn't the Growler guys around here?
It is, but the Growler guys is in what used to be Ying's Chinese restaurant. That's much closer to that's much closer to the Eagles. But anyway, I know that King's Table. I'm just saying, I used to look, and then when it switched to being an Italian restaurant, I was like, what are they doing? I mean, how could you get rid of a King's Table? Because a King's Table was a buffet.
It says a buffet, and so was it like middle-aged, like kind of Knights of the Round Table sort of themed? Or you
definitely
just ate
wasn't
like
a medieval times level. It might have had some of the pictures or whatever. Let's see. I remember, listen, I thought that Herm Edwards was Stephen A. Smith. So let's when I say I remember, let's all just pick up a salt lick and carry it around. But I seem to remember being in the King's Table in Eureka and overhearing some of older kids that I was with, maybe people that were in their teens or 20s, talking about having seen the movie Jaws, if this freezes it in time. I remember walking into the bathroom of the King's Table in Eureka to, obviously like use the bathroom or whatever, and overhearing these kids who I have this sense memory we were with, talking about seeing Jaws and being
You think
terrified.
it was Jaws in the theater? Like, you think it was just out?
Well, because I don't think there was any VHS at that time. It would have had to have been
Jaws
the theater.
was 75. You would have been like 1.
Oh, yeah, well, maybe. Okay, so I definitely couldn't have been 1. Maybe it was Jaws 2.
Yeah, maybe it was another
Maybe it was a
Jaws,
different
Jaws
movie that
3D
seemed scary.
or something like that.
Yeah, or a different movie. I have this, this is what the kind of sense memory of it is. The bathroom door of the King's Table, an older kid talking about a movie that sounded very scary and grown up to me. Mm-hmm. Those are the things. I think I just inserted Jaws into the mix because that seemed about the time, but it could have been anything. But anyway,
Jaws 3D was 1983, which might put it closer.
That could have been. Yeah. That could have been it. Well, no, because we moved. Because we lived in Seattle when Mount St. Helens exploded. Because I remember looking at the newspaper and seeing that Mount St. Helens and that was 81.
That was 81? Okay, well, I'm just going to list every scary movie, every movie that I find scary between 1977 and 1981. Right.
Rosemary's Baby. Rosemary's Baby's Baby.
Honey, I Shrunk Rosemary's Baby.
This was the thing. I don't think I was in a King's Table in Eureka, Andrew. I think I was in a Royal Fork. Because the Royal Fork was what preceded the King's Table.
Really?
The business was called Royal Fork, and then they changed the name to King's Table.
So in that, they both have this sort of
what's the
kingly, royal, holy fork and shirt balls.
Mm-hmm.
All right, you want to do one more of these?
Yeah,
I'm
I do.
Hungry. We don't have buffets anymore. I kind of want to go to a buffet now. But the idea of a buffet would always be better than probably the reality of a buffet, especially in 2026.
I would go to a buffet at about 5 p.m.
Yeah.
In other words, I would need to be, for me, lunchtime hungry is not hungry enough to get my money's worth on a buffet.
Oh, I see what you're saying,
I need to build in multiple hours of caloric deficit, so when I walk in there, they just lock the doors, guys, and hide the popcorn shrimp. Because I'm going for it.
I'm there, though. I didn't eat any breakfast today. It's 12 o'clock. I'm pretty hungry. I'm not going to tell you why my brain landed here. I was just thinking about food and how hungry I am. And I was thinking about how I haven't been to the old Goldie's card room in a while to watch a baseball game and eat my salt and pepper chicken wings or whatever. I was sort of thinking that's good buffet food, only it's not a buffet. But all that is to say, is Goldie's open? Is Goldie's? I drove by So here's the deal. We can't get into the whole story now. I'll tell you about it some other time when you're older. But I found myself at Daryl's Tavern.
I want to hear this story.
With Camaro, Kev, and Rodin on Saturday. I had no intention of going there, but I found myself there, and then I was texting them, and they're like, "Where are you? We'll be there in a second." And then we ended up watching these.
Were they recording?
Very
blew
heavy.
It or something?
No, I don't. I don't know. I think they were. They both happened to be free. I was just asking them because I was talking to the bartender about the show that was going to be playing there later to some very heavy
I love Daryl's, by the way. That's
I
a great
love
spot.
Daryl's, but they always have live music at night. So I was like, I'm just here for a beer or two before the music starts. And the music. Then I told the guys I was there, and they're like, "We'll be right over." And we're like, "Okay." So they both came, and then we ended up staying for the music, and it was a very interesting night. But the truth of the matter is, by the time we left, I was very into my cups. To the degree that was Saturday night, and it was one of those things, and I had not been like this in a minute, my friend. But I was on Sunday morning trying to be like, oh yeah, then that happened. Then we took the E-line home back to my place, and I'm sort of like and then we
You got all of those guys on the E-line?
The three of us took the E-line back from Daryl's. And then we got off at my corner, kind of, and then and it was kind of cool because then there was that open air, like kind of a taco. It's not a truck, but they set up these tents in the parking lot right on the
Nice.
corner there, and so the guys got some sort of a late night, street food thing while I ran to the AM PM to get us some beer that we could drink at home. And so anyway, it was just one of those foggy nights by this point, and foggy in my brain. And I'm just now remembering that as we drove past Goldie's heading south on the E-line, I think Camaro Kev said, "Look, see, it's closed because some other company maybe has bought it but not reopened it yet or something." Do you know anything about this at all?
Yelp is I know a little bit about maybe 6 months ago. I think it was called Maverick Gaming. It's the parent company that owned a bunch of casinos, including Goldie's. And they were shutting down a lot of the locations because I guess they weren't profitable. And Goldie's, though, was somehow managed to stay open. And Yelp is telling me that it's open right now.
Yeah, me too. I'm looking at Google
But I don't
Maps
know
and
if
it
we
says
can
it's
believe
open.
Yelp or not. But there has been a lot of that kind of local dingy casino scene has gone through a lot of changes, and a lot of the smaller casinos have been shut down. Which, the nostalgia part of me is like, of course, I've whiled away so many hours of my life and dollars of my bank account in a place like Goldie's, and I have a real emotional attachment to it. If I'm also being honest, and I said, what if we had fewer places where people, many of whom are dealing with addiction issues, could go and dump a bunch of money?
Yeah,
like,
I'd give it
I
to-
don't know if
yeah.
they're exactly the healthiest thing for the community. So I don't know. I'm sort of conflicted about it.
But I will say, if this is open, I'm so hungry right now, and this is how I make all my decisions. What I would like to do, the Mariners are
don't play
playing
today.
baseball tomorrow, though. Today I can't. I got puppy kindergarten. I got stuff to do today.
Oh, you're
But
already planning tomorrow.
But if I'm
you're planning Rolling Thunder.
Here's my point. If I'm disciplined today, which I have not been lately, but if I'm disciplined today, and I can actually get some work done on the old TBTL newsletter today, when I'm done with TBTL tomorrow, I could hoof it on over. What time is the Mariners game tomorrow? It's
a home game.
Oh, then
so
it's like going to be. It's not even
normal
early. It's
time.
going to be late. It's going to be 6:40, 7 o'clock at night or something like that. I could head over to Goldie's, just sit there by myself, pull tabs, eat some salt and pepper wings, and watch the Mariners on the old television set.
Doesn't sound too bad. I'll be working. I'll be burning the candle at every end. But I'll be jealously thinking about you watching the Mariners sitting there at Goldie's.
Yeah, that could be good. Should we do one more Blurs Day, or should we just ice this person out? No, that's not the spirit of the Blurs Days. But we are going to do something special here and not restart the music. Jacob in Edgewood says, because that way everybody.
That's our special gift to you, Jacob.
That's right. You don't
not
get to
restarting the music.
No, this is a gift. This is the Ira Glass gift. He is
Nobody
the person
else
who
gets it
pointed
in
out
the
to-
clear.
Exactly. The music goes away, and then you get closer to the radio because it sounds even more important. Jacob in Edgewood says, my brother introduced me to this show when I was 19 back in 2009. And after a year or so of listening, I fell off. But in 2020, I rediscovered the show and have been a daily listener since. I've never been blursed before, so it seems like the only way I'll get blursed is if I blurs myself So happy 36th Blur's Day
Hey,
to
happy
me.
Blur's
Happy
Day,
Blur's Day,
Jacob.
Jacob. Thanks for giving us a second chance. And also, why isn't your brother blursing you?
Yeah, exactly. That's a
Is your brother
brotherly
still
duty.
listening? I hope your brother's still listening. And even if he's not listening, he knows enough about your birthday and how Blur's
Drop a
Days
hint.
work. Andrew at
Drop a hint or two if you
TBTL.net.
have
That's
to.
my email address.
That's
It's
right.
not that difficult.
Well, happy Blur's Day, everybody,
Yeah.
this week. I think that's going to do it for today's episode. Oh, by the way, happy Blur's Day to my sister, Sarah, who will never hear this.
Happy Blur's Day, Sarah.
Yeah, she's turning an age this week. I don't know what that age is. It's younger than me.
Oh, did we sort of have a little Did we discuss a little celebration that you guys had for Sarah a couple of weeks ago as part of your birthday and Mother's Day as well? Was Sarah celebrating?
Well, what happened was my sister Liz, who's all my sisters are incredibly thoughtful. I believe it was my sister Liz. It might have been Hannah. One of my sisters got Sarah a little something too because they were like, well, we're not going to see you again before this.
Good.
And so essentially shifted the focus on her a bit, which I didn't appreciate.
No, it is a zero-sum game when it comes to birthdays.
And you know me. If I'm not getting that birthday attention, it's like, am I even...
Yeah.
Do I even exist? But all right, we are going to be back here tomorrow with more Imaginary Radio to wrap up the week. Boy, this week really went by quickly, it seems. So please join us for that. In the meantime, have a great Thursday. Take care of yourselves. And please remember, no mountain too tall.
And good luck to all.
Power out.